Hello, I'm Kristen Oaks-White. Thank you for joining us for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. My co-anchor, Avery Davidson, will be back next week. Well, a third of 2025 has already gone by, and we still do not have a farm bill. It's the most pressing issue in agriculture, according to most farmers, and the need for it seems to be falling on deaf ears. As Twilight's Neil Melanson tells us, one member of Congress is making sure those ag voices are heard.
Representative Troy Carter is used to getting his hands dirty in Washington, but today he's back in his district planting sweet potatoes with local farmer Leroy Conish. Carter says despite the sweat and dirt, today is a good day.
But the value of being in nature and knowing that you're producing a product that's going to feed the world, hard to be more fulfilling than that.
Carter is back home touring agricultural sites. He says the farm bill and cuts to USDA are the two most pressing issues he's hearing about.
Just left a farmer who said, listen, I can't go to the bank because we have good times, bad times. During bad times, I borrow money to make up for good times. For bad times, I borrow money to make up for the times that are not so good. Well, now with the ebbs and flows, I can't go to the bank because we don't have the stability.
Conish says here on the ground, he's been waiting for a grant to help rebuild the greenhouse on his farm.
The programs that were cut eliminated a lot of the opportunities and also caused a lot of farmers irreparable harm because they had planned on receiving the funds that was designated and appropriated duly by Congress to be distributed and dispersed, and then all of a sudden just pulled out from under you.
Fellow farmer Jerry Ardwin came from Ville Platte to attend the tour. He says ag products directly feed the community, and with help, he can feed the most vulnerable.
I like to share my produce too. I sell some to food banks and different individuals and also share with the elderly. So I consider myself a community farmer.
Carter stopped by the USDA office in Donaldsonville for a roundtable discussion. Sugarcane farmer Frankie Sotiel Jr. says he appreciates the congressional visit and Carter's willingness to push for a new farm bill for one simple reason.
It works. It works. It works. How many years we've been having farm bill? All other stuff that's thrown in the mix right now, tariffs. Without all us, you ain't got nothing to talk about with tariffs if we can't produce it.
According to staff members, this is the first time a congressional representative has visited the office, which is facing shortfalls in both staff and budgeting. That directly impacts farmers and the programs they rely on.
And they're just now stuck at a standstill. And it disproportionately impacts the employees here that are doing the right thing the right way for the farmers and for the people of our community. And it's heartbreaking to see that for the employees, and it's just incredibly frustrating because the uncertainty to all of it. Again, we're crippled and just kind of stuck in trying to do anything to help farmers.
The farm bill is not on the congressional schedule right now, but at the very least, Louisiana's delegation is listening. Reporting from Donaldsonville, I'm Neil Melanson.
As Representative Carter said, contacting your member of Congress and letting them know how the Farm Bill affects you is critical. You can find ways to do that easily on our website at twilatv.org. Well, forestry is Louisiana's leading commodity. Nearly half the state is covered in trees, and they grow denser the farther north you go. That made the I-20 corridor a perfect spot for a new state-of-the-art lumber mill. Twila's Josh Meeks got a tour to see how the innovation is helping both the industry and the environment.
Tucked between the tall trees in Bienville Parish, a new chapter is being written in Louisiana's long forestry history. Hunt Forest Products just opened a state-of-the-art sawmill just outside Taylor along the I-20 corridor. It's breathing new life into a once thriving town.
This used to be a mill town. After Weyerhaeuser purchased Willamette, the mill was shut down, and really the community started to fade. Bringing a mill back here has rejuvenated the community.
Hunt Forest Products CEO Richie LeBlanc says the mill offers an average wage around $20 an hour. The economic ripple touches everything from truck stops to timber.
We employ about 190 people at this location currently. The local communities are certainly benefiting from not only the employee base that we have here, but also the private landowners from we buy their timber.
Logs are hauled in and lifted in a single swoop from one of two cranes. One by one, they're stripped of their bark and begin the long process through the mill. Each 1,000-pound log delivers a small earthquake, enough that getting steady video inside is nearly impossible. And this isn't your grandfather's sawmill. Inside, cutting-edge technology drives production. These scanners identify every single piece of wood through the mill, making split-second decisions to maximize yield and eliminate waste.
We're scanning the log roughly 8 times through the sawmill process, starting at the debarker, working through the saw lines, and through the trimmer optimization. Each one for looking for specific characteristics in that piece.
Mill manager Scott Walker says from log intake to finished product, the process takes just about a week. But speed isn't the only goal. Safety, efficiency, and sustainability are just as important.
Housekeeping plays a huge role in the efficiency, not only the safety, but the efficiency of our machine centers. So we put a lot of emphasis on keeping our machine centers clean and tidy.
These command centers operate as an eye in the sky, following every step of the stripping, trimming, cutting, and planing. The goal is to have fewer hands around moving parts.
When a stem hits the deck, there's only about 6 or 7 people that actually are involved in the sawmill process. Now, it doesn't mean we only have 6 or 7 people on shift. We have a number of maintenance folks, both mill techs and electricians. It takes a small army of millwrights to run this facility.
From conservation to community, the Bienville Mill is a high-tech hub fueling local growth, keeping tradition alive, and planting roots for the future of forestry in Louisiana. Sustainability is, of course, a big part of the forestry industry, just as it is with any other commodity. They follow guidelines to make sure they're taking the right amount of trees and they're not spending too much time on one piece of land. They follow measures to make sure that they're doing as little disruption to the environment as possible. Now, once these trees are cut like this, within the span of about a year, they'll be replanted so they can be harvested again within about 27 years. Reporting from Bienville Parish for This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Josh Meeks.
Hunt Forest Products is also continually working on the genetics of trees so that they yield more lumber, which means fewer would need to be cut. Agritourism is a great way to diversify income at the farm, especially right now. It generates millions of dollars in Louisiana annually and shows no signs of slowing down. There are key factors fueling this agricultural movement. Our guest reporter, Suzanne Ferreira, has been uncovering this story for our special series, Agritourism Fueling the Future. Suzanne, what is happening in the industry right now?
Kristen, there are 265 agritourism farms throughout the state, and that number is expected to increase up to 13%, reflecting the rest of the nation. We found out how critical they are to the future of agriculture.
Guinea pig. We're going to use them for bait if we don't catch nothing.
This fishing excursion at Crawfish Haven, Miss Rose Bed and Breakfast, just north of Kaplan, is one example of Louisiana's successful agritourism businesses dotting the state. It helps farmers like Barry Toops pay the bills.
Oh, definitely it makes a difference for me because I'm charging so much for excursions. I'm averaging a lot more a pound than actually if I sold them to the market.
Economic sustainability isn't the only incentive for agritourism farmers. Toops enjoys educating visitors about the aspects of bringing crawfish from the pond to the table.
Tail off, go back and forth like this, take that first layer off, change the bottom until and pull it out.
Did you ever think or ever see yourself doing this?
No, not even close, not even close. This is so fun. I'm traveling the world here. I'm meeting people from all over the world.
The goal with agritourism is to bring people back to nature. I think people are excited because they're exposed to something. And
Agriculture and Forestry Commissioner Mike Strain continues to play a vital role in Louisiana's agritourism's evolution.
You know, public opinion affects policy. The policy affects our production. We're going to have to put every inch of every acre in production to feed America and to feed the world. Across the world, we are not winning the race on feeding the world because the world now is consuming more than it's producing, and most of its major commodities. We have to up the game.
And where they get that critical support comes from experiences like these, where people learn the origins of their food. And exactly who receives that understanding is key. There is no one more important than the kids stepping foot on the open farm.
Because they absorb everything, right? But they leave with a different perspective.
You're planting the seeds for the future.
You're planting the seeds. An idea and an understanding is the seed of the future. We need to continue to emphasize agritourism as a way to expose our young people, expose them and educate them to the true nature of agriculture, forestry, and aquaculture.
We will be visiting several of these agritourism businesses for the next several months, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Suzanne. Looking forward to those upcoming stories. Well, Good Friday meant a great turnout for this year's annual Sporting Clay Shootout in Northwest Louisiana. 23 teams competed this year, all vying for top prizes in each category. Shooters included Farm Bureau members, FFA and 4-H kids, and people who just have great aim. Each year, the Shootout raises money for Louisiana Farm Bureau scholarships and Louisiana Ag in the Classroom. It's also a great way to get young people excited about being outdoors.
This is kind of what it's about, the kids. We have a lot of kids that come and shoot with us, like this cowboy right here. And we try to talk our parishes into sponsoring them, and most of them do. We love doing it to raise money to help our foundation for years to come.
So many youth don't even understand about agriculture, and it gives us an opportunity to tell our story and tell what ag is all about, and where our food source is, and the security of it, and how important it is to protect it. And what we raise here sends money to fund those programs, to make the awareness available for these children, so when they're grown and adults, they can help lead these programs that we're a part of right now.
Now, the proceeds from this fundraiser are still being tallied, but when we have that information, we'll provide it to you on our website at twilatv.org. Before we head to break, we want to take a look at some of the crawfish prices from around the state. If you're out around Foss River, check out the Crawfish Hole in New Roads. They're charging $3 a pound for live and $5.99 a pound for boiled. Out east in Covington, Bayou Boil and Go has them for $3.49 a pound live and $5.25 a pound boiled. And in Rain, head over to Boulet's Boil and Go, where they're $3.25 a pound live and $4.99 a pound boiled. These crawfish prices are brought to you by the Louisiana Crawfish Promotion and Research Board, which reminds you to always eat Louisiana crawfish and to make sure, ask before you eat. Still to come on TWILA, the state legislature recognizes the black men and women of agriculture. And later, we join Ag and Forestry Commissioner Dr. Mike Strain on a story that's certified Louisiana.
You're watching This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, the only TV show bringing Louisiana farmers and consumers together every week.
This week, we continue our Road to Leadership series, highlighting those volunteers in charge of our federation. In this week's edition, we travel to the northwest corner of the state to meet Louisiana Farm Bureau First Vice President Marty Wooldridge.
I'm Marty Wooldridge. I raise beef cattle in Caddo Parish, and I'm the first vice president of the Louisiana Farm Bureau Federation. My story of being involved or getting involved in Farm Bureau begins pretty much right here, almost where we're standing, really in the kitchen table of my mother's house, when a Farm Bureau agent was trying to sell me insurance. His parting words that day was, "I hope you buy the insurance, but you really need to be a part of Farm Bureau." Didn't know anything about the Federation, didn't know anything about young farmers and ranchers, but because this agent took the time to explain it to me that day, sell me a membership, it started something rolling. It's an organization that whatever you're willing to put into it, you're going to get a lot out of it. For me, it's so much about being able to believe in carrying the message of the industry, its people. Our story's got to be told. Is it at the state capitol? Yes. Is it in Washington, D.C.? Yes. Who does that best? The Farm Bureau and the Farm Bureau's membership. What do I do every day is I'm trying to make sure that this farm stays in this family, and that Tripp, our son, as he's coming up, is going to have that chance. He may not choose to chase these cows that are standing out here behind us, but he's going to have that chance. And he's going to have that chance not only by my efforts on the farm and my wife's efforts on the farm helping us, but it was our efforts making sure that ag industry stays sustainable, that makes sure that it's not overly regulated, that we're not put out by burdensome taxes or burdensome paperwork. It's the Farm Bureau and the work that we do shaping policy. In Caddo Parish, we are still a rural parish, but at the same time, we have, at our heart, we have a metropolitan area. So it's an interesting balance of membership. But we need members from all sectors, and I need good active members. I need members that are going to be out there helping at the school level, the 4-H level, even the university level here, telling the story of agriculture, whatever part of agriculture they're involved in. To me, there's so many facets of agriculture. Is it the row crop farmer? Is it the chicken producer, the cattle producer, isn't the timber producer. You know, they have their forestry associations, and we have our cattle associations, and there's sugar, and there's cotton and grain, and all the different groups. But the greatest thing is the big tent of the Farm Bureau is where we can all get together and join forces for the industry as a whole.
Speaking of leadership, one representative in Baton Rouge wanted to honor minority ag producers in Louisiana. The first ever Black Farmers and Growers Day was held at the state capitol. The gathering of more than 60 people honored farmers and ag industry personnel with food and fellowship. Representative C. Travis Johnson organized the event and said it was important that Black farmers be recognized for their contributions to Louisiana agriculture.
I'm very excited about all the folks that are participating. I didn't think it was going to be as big as God, but the goal is to make sure that farmers know they have a voice. There's people like the Commission of Agriculture, Farm Bureau, Southern Ag Center, LSU Ag Center. All of these organizations, entities want to help Black farmers because they've been a very important part of agriculture in the state, and so that's why today is important so they know that they have a voice in agriculture in the state, and so we want to be able to let them have that voice today.
Representative Johnson says he plans to make Black Farmers and Growers Appreciation Day an annual event. After the break, John Deere invites a New York journalist to step out of the city and into a field to see just how tough farming really is. Stay with us.
This is Dr. Mike Strain, Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry, and we're here at Landry Vineyards, one of our certified family of companies. Tell me what's going on today.
Today is our Stomp Fest. It's one of the favorite events out here at Landry Vineyards. This is where we celebrate the stomp of the grapes, stomping of the grapes. The harvest is really what we're celebrating here.
You know, Susan and I have been many times,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. It's so much fun. How you like that between your toes? It's cold. It's cold. This is really a family event.
That's what we try to create.
And
That's
I can
what we
tell you,
want.
as a certified Louisiana company, I know you're doing great, and it's just incredible.
Looks like we're going to have a big crowd out here. We got a bunch of Lucy's out here. I see redheads all over out there.
I see that. I'm from the North Shore, Peter Springs. Tell me what's going to happen with the wine stomp.
Well, first of all, the ladies just love to stomp in the grapes. It's an age-old tradition. They're going to get in the grapes and take pictures and really enjoy that. And then they're also going to put their footprints on the back of a Landry Vineyards t-shirt that says, "I stomp grapes at Landry Vineyards."
All right, get a good print. All right, step off. Very good.
So they love both of those events, and then we'll do the Lucy Lookalike contest. You know, and all of this is music, live music, local music. You know, we want local food, local music, local wine, and then people will be dancing and having a good time.
So Jeff, tell me about your wines and your product lines, you know, from where you started to where you're at today and how you get it done.
You know, the #1 grape we grow is Blanc du Bois. It's very popular. It's a French-American hybrid.
Tell us about your winemaking process.
Well, once the grapes are harvested, then it goes into the winery. We have a big hopper where we dump the grapes into. They go through the crusher distemmer, and then we press if it's a white grape. If it's a red grape, it's fermented on the skins and then pumped into the tanks.
It is very important to me personally to support the farmers. It's more important to me to see them succeed. And this is a success story. So you were one of our earliest companies to join Certified Louisiana.
That's right.
Tell us about how that happened.
You know, we were looking for everything we could do to promote our products and to tell the consumer, to tell the retailer, We're from Louisiana. We are producing wines from Louisiana. That's what the program did for us. Now the program takes us so far, but we still needed and continue to need the consumer to go to their managers and say, hey, this is a Louisiana certified product. We need you to support this. We need you to put it in the stores. Well, let me tell you, they have the voice. They don't realize that a lot of times they come to me and they say, can you get this wine in our store? I say, well, I can work on it, but you have to ask.
You ask the store, where are the certified Louisiana products? Where's Landry Vineyards? Where are those products?
Right.
Then that manager will get it. Whenever I go shopping, I'm looking for those certified family of products.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Certified Louisiana's Crawfish Tales with Commissioner Mike Strain was brought to you by the Louisiana Department of Agriculture and Forestry Certified Louisiana Program. For information about the Certified Louisiana, Certified Cajun, Certified Creole, Certified Craft Beverage, and the Certified Farm to Table Logo Program, visit certifiedlouisiana.org or ldaf.la.gov. Support Louisiana families. Look for Certified Louisiana logos at your favorite grocery, restaurant, or farmer's market. Buy Louisiana. It's the way to grow.
Now it's time for this week's Twilight Boost, and it's something the men and women of this show know far too well. Farming is not easy. As part of the John Deere Challenge, the business put a New York tech journalist at the wheel of a tractor to see just what farm life is really like.
For over a decade, I've been running a YouTube channel here in New York City teaching people about and reviewing technology. Not too long ago, though, John Deere brought myself and a few others in the industry out to farms to see their equipment, but also talk with farmers and just learn more about farming in general. After multiple trips like this over a couple of years, the more farms I visited and the more farmers I spoke to, the more I realized just how much actually went into farming and how little of it I knew.
So cash price for March corn yesterday was $4. The futures were $4.40.
And this is it. This 20 acres of land behind me, over the next 5 months, I will have to till, plant, spray, and harvest corn from. That is not corn. I mean, it is, but...
It is corn.
It's red corn.
Really, it's going to come down to your combine to make sure that we can get all of the yield, get all the bushels.
I need every last...
We need every bushel.
Now, knowing the yield, what did we sell it all for? And at this point, I'm just wondering how much money I lost.
If we come in here, plug these numbers in.
And your total P&L?
$22.20. That's a win. I'm stoked.
$20.
$20. A round, half a round is on me.
I mean, there you go. There you go.
That's right, all that work, all that time, and David made a net profit of just $22. Truly a great lesson in working for a cause and not for a dollar. Well, that does it for this edition of Twilight. Be sure to join us next week when we talk with delegates from Canada about tariffs and trade. Until then, you can watch all of our stories online at twilatv.org, and be sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and check out our reels on TikTok. You can also find all of these stories and much more on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications so you know exactly when we put out new content. For all of us here at TWILA, thanks for joining us. We hope to see you again right here next week.